Let's talk superheroes. You've got your Batmans, your Supermans, your Spider-Mans. Classic, love them, moi, I kiss them, they're so beautiful. But with the advent of movies like The Suicide Squad, we get to see more weird characters like Polka Dot Man. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Over the years, Marvel and DC have just come up with some absolutely ridiculous characters. So please, let me tell you about my favorite train wreck of a DC character, Dogwelder. Yeah, you heard me. His name as a superhero is Dogwelder. Now, before I show you an image of what Dogwelder looks like, I want you to think about exactly what they'll look like. Alright, time's up. If you guessed a giant subscribe button, you're right. Wait, how did that get in there? If you were imagining maybe a dog who also welds, well, I'm sorry, but I wish we were in that timeline. No, Dogwelder is exactly what you think he is. He is a man who welds dead dogs to people. Now, okay, so you're gonna come along on this journey with me, because if you thought this story ended at a guy who welds dogs to people, you are so wrong. There's so much more to this guy, and it's all insane. Okay, so I'll be honest and say I don't really read comics that often. I read a few, but it's not like a hobby of mine, which means we'll be getting our information from the best source, the DC Wiki. If you trust Comic Drake about fan-run wikis, specifically about comic books, then he says they're usually wrong or biased. But we're not here for fact-checking or exhaustive research. No, we're here for that quick and easy info. DC Wiki, here we come. Alright, so Dogwelder. What is a Dogwelder in the first place? I'm sorry to say this, I really am. Dogwelder is a superhero who welds dead dogs to people's faces. More specifically, villains. Now, I've got a question. When you think of superheroes, what do you think of? Probably a guy stopping a plane from crashing, maybe beating up some bad guys, probably building some sort of gadget to use, right? Alright, well, I have a question for you. Where does Dogwelder get his dead dogs? Yeah, I get his whole weird guy thing is to weld dead dogs to people, but here's the question. Where are the dogs coming from? Dare I ask? What the dog doing? Does he somehow find dead dogs to use as ammunition? Like he's just lucky enough to keep running into the exact amount of ammunition he needs? You and I both know how this goes already. I say something in a question format, and then it's clearly not the answer. So, he kills them. Dogwelder, goes into back alleys and kills stray dogs to use as ammunition for his superhero business. I'm, sorry to say it, but, you're old enough that I don't have to sugarcoat anything anymore. So, yeah, that's the truth. Let me reiterate that again. Dogwelder is a superhero, not just a normal hero, but a superhero. Not a villain, but a hero. His main hobby outside of stopping crime is killing dogs. He finds them, kills them, and then uses them as ammunition. According to the official DC Wiki status, his alignment is good. Not chaotic good, just good. I don't even know if the DC Wiki goes that far for some people. Also, Dogwelder is a mute. Nothing against mute people, of course, but the image of a 6'4" man who is 420 pounds silently killing dogs to weld them onto people's faces. Kinda frightening, not gonna lie. Imagine you're like some low-level criminal in Gotham and this guy comes up to you and beats you up and then proceeds to weld a dog onto your face. Does that not sound like villain stuff? Even the Joker wouldn't do something that crazy. Like, how do you even think of something like that? So, Dogwelder first appeared in 1997, and this specific iteration of him died in 2000. Okay, this is a legitimate question. Write in the comments what you think killed the superhero Dogwelder. Who or what do you think killed Earth's mightiest hero, the welder of dog? I'll give you a few seconds to think it out and type it. So if you said anything other than the eldritch being that is both canon in Marvel and DC called the Many-Angled One, you're wrong. What the hell is the Many-Angled One, and why is our great hero Dogwelder fighting it? Beyond creation lies the unknown. It is between the cracks of the known and the unknown where we find the ones who shouldn't, the ones who defy all rules and are bound not because of the rules of the universe, but rather out of kindness. The only reason you haven't been devoured by an eldritch god is not due to some dumb rules and laws that govern all beings. No, it is out of pure kindness by the universe that you haven't had the misfortune of encountering an eldritch god. Every day you are alive is a favor to you. Use your days wisely. Anyways, yeah, so the Many-Angled One is an eldritch H.P. Lovecraft god kind of being. It has appeared in both Marvel and DC comics in many different forms, and it exists in the gap between multiverses. If you're into D&D, the concept of the Far Realm is basically where they come from. A plane in which no rules apply and thus nothing makes sense. That is to say, if you're able to survive there before you go insane or are devoured by creatures that theoretically shouldn't exist. The Many-Angled Ones, depending on who's writing the story, are either like a uniform being of life and horror, or like an ancient universe of alien life where everything went wrong, and now worlds and galaxies of beings have become the horrors of a universe that should have perished, yet somehow continue to exist despite all odds. Yeah, so this is what killed Dogwelder. The juxtaposition of like this Joe character who welds dogs to people's faces because he's wacky and insane versus the pure embodiment of a forgotten universe's suffering is the funniest thing ever. This dude, why was he the first line of defense for Earth against this embodiment of pure horror? Who was like, okay, so the zombified remains of the first universe capable of conscious thought is coming at us. Where's the dude who welds dogs? Or maybe, do you think it was like the Dogwelder saw the Many-Angled Ones coming and had like a moment of like deep contemplation in front of a mirror and was like, I'm doing this for humanity, and then killed some dogs to use against this literal sentient universe? I know it's really easy to get the answer just by reading the comics, but dude, it's so much funnier the less I know. Can you imagine learning that, like, I don't know, what's a lesser known Marvel character? If you were reading up on Archie, who is, yes, canon to Marvel, and it was like, Archie died in the final stand against Thanos. Unable to kill him, he left a mortal wound that would end up giving the Avengers the upper hand they needed. This is how it felt when I learned about Dogwelder. And you'd think I'd be done. You'd think I'd be done after the Eldritch God vaporized Dogwelder. No, there is a second Dogwelder, and guess what? He dies too! And he doesn't go to heaven or hell! No! Dogwelder 2 goes to the Dogwelder afterlife and meets the other Dogwelders. Let me reiterate this, okay? Dogwelder dies and then goes to a personal afterlife designed for Dogwelders. There is a specific afterlife in DC only for Dogwelders. Why is there a specific afterlife for Dogwelders? Because of course, it's the curse of Anubis. Oh, what is that? Obviously, Anubis created a curse on humanity that there will always be a Dogwelder, of course. How could you not know this? It's basic science. Ever since the time of the gods, there has been a person welding dogs to people. Of course. How does Dogwelder 2 die, I hear you screaming at your screen? Two stars, Sirius A and B, are going to collide together and cause the destruction of Earth. Dogwelder uses his mastery of welding dogs to do something unthinkable. He welds two goddamn stars together. Dogwelder literally sacrifices himself to weld two stars together and save the Earth. Also, Dogwelder is part of this group of parody heroes called Section 8. They're led by this dude named Sixpack. And can I just say, no, you know what? No, I don't get it, guys. His name is Sixpack. What's the joke here? I don't understand. What's so funny about this guy named Sixpack? I don't get it. Ugh, it's so overdone. Anyways, yeah, so Section 8 notices that two stars are about to collide, and they try and stop it, but they can't. And so Dogwelder has to sacrifice himself. How am I supposed to react to this? How am I supposed to feel about the man who was cursed by Anubis to leave his successful job as a businessman and his family to weld dogs to people's faces, only to then make the ultimate sacrifice and weld two colliding stars together? Genuinely, how am I supposed to feel? Normally, I'd have some deep insight about the nature of man, or about systemic injustice or something. Nah, this dude literally welds dogs to people. Dogwelder is a character who I never wished to learn about outside of his wiki page. I think that his existence in and of itself is hilarious, and I just wanted to share this journey I went through with you. If you like what I had to say about this legendary hero, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Plus, it lets me know that you enjoy this shorter content like this. If you want to get in contact with me, or you just want to see my deep political opinions, follow me on Twitter at DarnellHasLeft. There's so much random knowledge I have on things that just don't matter, and I hope this was entertaining to watch as it was for me to learn it all. Thank you for watching.